So Lovely, Dark, and Deep is not really the type of film I would normally review, but a couple of really big YouTubers I actually follow a lot can't stop talking about this film. They keep touting it as one of this year's biggest hidden gems. No idea why people won't watch this thing. They just keep hyping it up. I figured I have to watch this. I have to see what it's about. And the big question is, do I agree? Oh boy. So Lovely, Dark, and Deep stars Georgina Campbell playing this park ranger, and when the film starts, we really don't know anything about her character, just that her sister went missing when she was younger, and you'd be led to believe you're going to have this mystery of what happened to her sister in the woods, this thriller, maybe a scary film. That's not at all what we get. And I have to start off by saying that the woods in particular are a very effective medium for me to explore because I love hiking, I love walking, I love going out in the woods. So I was really interested in how they were going to tackle this story taking place in the deep backcountry because that's something I love to do. I love to get out, I love to stay active. So taking something that I've always been interested in and putting it as the main medium for a story, I was really interested in what they were going to do with the woods. Sadly, didn't work out. This film starts off promising enough. You're following Georgina Campbell as a park ranger in the woods. It's pretty atmospheric. I was on board for the first 20-30 minutes of this. I was wondering where they were going to go because it's a little bit tense. You have this character alone in the woods spending all summer as a park ranger, and they keep making note that a lot of people go missing in these woods. Other park rangers, civilians. So I was wondering what's going on in these woods. Obviously, that's the tone that's set. There's going to be a mystery of some sort. And it starts off intriguing enough. I was on board, so I will give it that. But everything after the first 30 minutes, holy shit. One of the real reasons I was actually swayed to check this out is because Georgina Campbell is in it, and I loved her in Barbarian, so I'll support her work from here on out. I have to say, she's fine for what she's asked to do, but the problem is she's not working with a whole lot. She just kind of keeps doing the same thing. She wakes up, she walks around, she scouts out this map, she marks destinations looking for missing people. You're on board with that. Then it just kind of keeps going and going. She keeps finding these missing people in the middle of the night, some traditional PG-13-esque horror, and then randomly this movie does what a lot of movies do nowadays, where they randomly reach about 45 minutes, 50 minutes in, and you're really starting to wonder where this reveal's going. And the writer said, you know that thing called continuity? Fuck that, we're not doing that anymore. This movie chooses to do what way too many horror movies do nowadays, where it starts off interesting enough in the real world, then it goes full dream sequence, full hallucinations, full metaphors, to the point absolutely no viewer can keep up with what's going on in this. It's like they thought if they throw as many allegories at us as we can, we'll be intrigued by the fact that it's just something so deep we need to figure out. And I'm one of those people, the moment you make me do homework, I don't give a shit. Her sister going missing in the woods when they're out camping can obviously draw some contrast to human trafficking for women. Then you have the park ranger getting lost in her guilt trying to find her sibling, so we're exploring guilt again. A subject I truly believe is just cliche at this point. I feel like I've seen about 35 horror films about guilt in the last 5 years alone. I don't know, the shit's kind of getting old to me. Is it just me or is it you guys as well? The second half of this film, completely unwatchable with how far up its own ass it gets. I'm starting to sound like a broken record at this point. I say in every review where you take this elevated topic you're exploring, make the movie a metaphor. If the story does not work on the surface level, if people can't understand it without reading the Wikipedia, if it's that deep that what you're seeing is not real and there's just so many layers, the movie does not work. I feel like I'm yelling into an echo chamber at this point. This movie is probably the biggest example of this. So bad, in fact, it makes The Beast Within look like an Oscar contender. This movie is so confusing. I also have to point out that this film is called Lovely, Dark, and Deep, and I'm not sure if that's what the director thinks of this film, but if it is, it's even more pretentious than I thought going into it because wow. That might be the dumbest title ever for what we get. I'll wrap up the entire plot cycle for you here. You have this park ranger. She wakes up in the middle of the night consistently. Weird things happen. People bang on her door. She goes out looking for people when she's charting her map. Finds missing people. Soon after, they start acting weird. Maybe they go missing. Then shortly after she finds these people, she starts to feel weird. She starts to feel like she's not there, hallucinating in dream sequences, getting lost in the woods. It repeats this cycle for about an hour straight of her just wandering around aimlessly, seeing visions of things, flashbacks. It just keeps going and going until you get some stupid explanation of what's going on. But the forest seemingly needs to take somebody for everybody who is found. I'm assuming that's of relation to guilt, human trafficking, things like that, people getting lost in their mission to save others. Not entirely sure, but the fact that I haven't felt the need to look this up, do my research, tells you how boring and how stupid this is. I truly don't care. To send the point home, I was watching this with someone else, and in the middle of the most important scene, the biggest metaphor dream sequence we're watching, they turned directly to me and said, wow, this might be the stupidest film I've ever seen. So overall, guys, I'm going to keep this brief. I wanted to review this because I keep seeing this all over my Twitter timeline, all over YouTube. I keep hearing people recommend this. I don't know if you have as well. It's on Tubi right now if you want to check it out. I do not recommend it unless you're on a lot of drugs. It starts off interesting enough. It has Georgina Campbell. She's fine in this, just has nothing to work with. It's one of these movies that's just a giant metaphor, full of itself, makes no sense. It's stupid, it's boring, it's pointless. The movie's dog shit. Have any of you guys seen this? Do you think I'm being hard on this? Do you agree with the narrative going around that this is a good film? I'm genuinely curious. Comment down below, let me know. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, join me down below, but that's all I got in this video. Peace.